Alrighty. Good afternoon. How's everyone doing today? It is Friday. We're wrapping up the trading week. Hope you can hear me okay. You can see me all right. Put it into the chat and let me know. Oops, where am I? Thank you for that, Erwin. Appreciate that. Good morning. Hey Nav, how you doing? Hey Richard, good morning. Oh, good, fantastic. Thanks for that. And hi Lindley, how you doing? Alrighty. Now let me just make sure it's all good. We'll give it a minute before we get started. I'm super happy. I just closed out a trade. Literally before this session, closed out a trade on a euro dollar to the downside. Quick trade, very quick trade. Hey Jumarinas, how are you doing? Hey Christina, good morning. It's actually in the afternoon, almost towards evening for me. It's 3 p.m. here, but good morning to all of you. How are you all doing? Good to be the first thing, or one of the first things you watch before you head into the trading day, which is Friday. So we are ending the session, we are ending the trading week, doing a quick wrap up, and then we'll look forward into next week as well. Okay, if you are new to the session, do remember to drop a message and say hi. Let me know where you're joining us from. Love to find out. Love to know where you're coming from. We do have, I am traveling around, reaching out to many different individuals like yourself. So, you know, the more people I have in a different place or in a particular place, I could get there and catch up with everyone. Right? And for all the regulars, a big welcome back. Thank you for joining me again on this market analysis where it is Friday. So we will be wrapping up the trading week. If you have any questions at any point in time, please feel free to put it into the chat and let me know. And all I ask from you is to help me out, and do remember to click that like and subscribe button as we get through the session on whichever platform you are joining us on. Hi Jimmy, how are you doing? Those of you who are on the Discord channel already, you know that the link is there. And if you are following the chat, yesterday I was up till about 5 a.m. Watching the Golf Masters. Anyone watch the Golf Masters? It's the first day yesterday. I'll be watching it over the next couple of days. So yes, Jimmy was asking, do I actually sleep? I had about 2 hours. So I was down at 5, got up at 7. So I'm still in it. I'm still trading. I'm still doing stuff. Sleep is there, but yeah, I have enough. All right. So that also kind of paints the picture in the Discord channel that a lot of times I am watching and I'm ready to help you guys through your trading journey as well. Okay. Any comments? Anyone watching the Golf Masters? Who do you think is going to win? If it's something you're interested in, put it into the chat and let me know. And while you're doing that, a quick disclaimer: any information contained on this webinar should not be construed as advice and is presented as educational material only. The contents of this webinar are not intended to be a recommendation to trade a financial product, as your objectives, financial situation and needs has not been considered, and you should consider its appropriateness to your circumstances. Okay, and also at the start of this whole session, you see that introductory video. Please remember that I don't run any Telegram channels or Signal channels, that kind of stuff. So just be careful with what you subscribe to. Now with that, take that away. Oops, that was my euro trade. I'll show you that first. So I was looking at that. No, I didn't get in there. I got in about there. 10710. I was aiming for 30. Oops. I was aiming for a 30 pip. So I had a 20 pip At first I had a 30 pip stop loss. I was thinking of a 30, oops, where am I? 30 to 30. Then I thought, no, I can just keep it here to about 20 pips just above that support, now turned to resistance level. And then it shot down, right? It shot down. I closed out at about 28, I think, if I'm not wrong, as it was pushing down, and then as we're heading into this session. So that was my quick trade just before this session, within an hour. Actually, within, I think it was, yeah, it was within that, maybe even, yeah, start of the hour, about 40 minutes, came down about 28 pips and closed out. Okay, so that's the kind of trades that I sit and wait for. Take that away. Now, what has happened since the last time we spoke? Yesterday, we had the ECB with their interest rate decision, or their main refinancing rate decision. It was held at 4.5%. No major surprises there. However, during the press conference, there was the sentiment. There was a sentiment that the ECB was preparing, was getting towards the point of a rate cut in June. Right, they're getting to that point of preparing a rate cut in June. You can see here, central bank, ECB gives strong signal that cuts are on the way despite the Fed uncertainty. And then also where President Lagarde said we're not going to wait for inflation to return to 2% before we make the necessary decisions. I hope that Chair Powell at the FOMC was going to say something like that, but he's not saying that. President Lagarde has said that, President Lagarde from the ECB. Right, so that kind of paints the picture towards a rate cut decision in June. And if the ECB decides to cut rates in June, where was it? Sorry, one second. If the ECB decides to cut rate, it really does, or is on track to cutting rates in June, and the US is on track to keeping rates on hold in June. Again, that divergence, that's where I think the headline here, Euro expected to drift lower on ECB Fed policy outlook divergence. Right, the divergence in policy because the Euro cutting rates, the Fed's keeping on hold. That's why we're seeing that push to the downside on the Euro dollar, likely to continue. This was the news from last night. Hey, Oliver Smith, how you doing? Gold will come short, well, towards the end of the session, so do stay tuned. At 8:15 and the press conference at 8:45. So this was during the news, right? So the news came out, no change, popped up a little bit, the support level held, pushed up a little bit higher, but the statements and the sentiment that they're going to cut rates and the divergence in policy between the Eurozone and the FOMC comes in, and then it pushed the Euro dollar lower, breaking that support, turning it into a resistance. Pretty much what we expected, right? It didn't retrace as much as we thought, but it did show that downside push, heading lower right now. Okay, so we can take that away for now, but we were looking at the Euro dollar to push lower. So that was the main refinancing rate, the monetary policy statement, and the press conference from the ECB. Yeah, right. And then at 8:30 p.m. as well, we had the US PPI was a 0.6, expected a 0.3, got released at a 0.2. With core PPI at 0.3, expected 0.2, got released at 0.2 as expected. Okay, just want to make sure that you guys still see me okay? hang on a second. Let me just check something. Hi, Angel Case. How are you doing? Okay. Thanks for that, Owen. I just realized that my videos here are not moving. But so long as you guys are seeing it okay, that's great. That's the most important part. Hey Pips Apprentice, how are you doing? Thanks for that, Richard. Okay, so we were saying about PPI from the US, just slightly lower than expected, drop from the previous. But if you look at it from 8 there, on that news, so it just pushed down a little bit. It did exactly what we thought it would do, right? It came down, tested this support area, right? As you say, it's going to come down, test the support area, and then push up towards that resistance. It took a little bit longer. Honestly, it took a little bit longer than expected. It came close at 10 last night, but today it came up to that 105.58 level. So last night it got to 105.52, retrace, and then just right now pushed up above 105.58. Okay, so that move, that drop here on the dollar index is slightly because of that PPI number that was released at 8:30. Now, with all that said, we had the UK GDP number, the British GDP number released at 2 p.m. about 1 hour ago, month to month. It was 0.2, got revised up to 0.3, but it came out as expected at 0.1%, right? So UK GDP at 0.1%. You see that it pushed down, but it's not so much because of, I wouldn't attribute it to that GDP number release, right? I would say that this push down is because of that dollar strength, although it happened at the same time. Okay, so I would say that there was actually very little impact from the GDP number that was released from the UK. Someone, I can't remember the nickname now, but someone on Discord was asking whether it's a good time to be selling the pound. You know, this was about 3 minutes before the news. I said, wait for the news. Right, I'm still at this point now looking for it to drop past this level, that previous low, to sell down. Okay. Then with that all, nothing much else. Through to consumer sentiment, I don't think it's going to do too much. I am possibly thinking that we might, with a big move, huge move this week on the dollar index, I am thinking that we might see a bit of a retracement towards the end of the week, or at the end of this week, but maybe briefly. Okay, so I'll factor that one in. With all that said about the today, looking into next week, Monday, US retail sales number is going to be important to watch out, so we'll talk about that on Monday. Tuesday, we have the UK with the employment numbers together with the CAD CPI, inflation growth numbers, to talk about. On Wednesday, it's going to be CPI for the Kiwis, CPI for the UK, and then on to Thursday, employment numbers for the Aussies, not too much on the Thursday. And then on Friday, retail sales number for the UK. So it's going to be quite interesting trading because there's going to be a lot of CPI numbers to be released and consumer retail sales number, which shows you the consumer sentiment in the UK and also in the US, which, you know, retail sales and consumer spending is one of the major factors of GDP. So again, that's going to factor quite nicely. I think that next week we might see good continuation of trends. But I'll tell you more about that next week as we look into it on a day-to-day basis. Now, for today, let's look at the charts. Oh, before we do that, again, before I forget, please remember that if you haven't already, the link is there. Right, the link is there, and do join. Do go ahead over there and register to join. That's where I'll be. If you go to Tickmill, the link is there. You can see on the 17th. I'm not speaking in German. There. All right, I will be teaching, doing a webinar and teaching you on how to trade the news, how to take advantage of the volatility and liquidity. So head onto the link, sign up, register, join me on the webinar on the 17th of April at 8 p.m. GMT plus 8. I do look forward massively to seeing all of you join me on the session. Okay? Now, looking at the charts. Dollar index broke above our interim level, could head towards 105.94. Well, I like it at 105. 106 would be a good nice round number. Right, 106 because it's caught this level here and it's just broken above that interim level. So we are looking, there is no major news here for the dollar today, right? So if anything, we should anticipate that the dollar could continue to trend to, or would continue to trend to the upside, right? Would continue to trend to the upside and test that resistance here at 106. Now, if I look at this, I don't actually need that. Yeah, I don't need that anymore. Take that away. That's my support. That's fair. I would even put this up here now. So that's the interim with that swing, that small little swing level that we see there. Right, so now it's broken up. I would say that, okay, this is what I'm thinking, is that the dollar could head up to 106 and then come back down to rest at about 105.70. It could very well go all the way up, but I don't see that unless it's driven by massive weakness on the other major currency pairs. All right, so what I'm thinking that today we're likely to see is 12th of April, dollar index. What am I typing? Continue higher towards 106 resistance. Look for reaction. If reject, likely to rest at 105.70. Okay, so anticipation is that the dollar index is going to continue with that upside push towards that resistance of 106. Looking at that reaction there, it could break through. I think a little bit unlikely, possible but unlikely, or it'll come back and then settle around this level at 105.70. Why I think it's likely to settle because after such a big move this week, ending the week, we might see some profit taking and some retracement. We've already seen it happen once, right? It shot up and then on Thursday it came back down a little bit, pushed up. We might see it come back down and sit along this level at 105.70. That's what I'll be looking for on the dollar index. Fair enough. Fair enough. Put it into the chat. Let me know what you think. Looking for a bit of interaction. Now with that, then looking at the Kiwi, we had our flag or pennant pattern here, pushing down, take that away. All right, it broke out and then came right, well, firstly, on this channel, what you would have seen is it broke out of the channel, right? But we were looking for a rejection back down. So what you would have seen is, okay, that extends out, but you only have 1 point, so you don't want to extend it out that way. You keep it here, it comes right back down, hits, would have triggered your sell, would have come back up and hit a stop loss. This would have been a stop loss trade at 20 pips. Okay, this would have been a stop loss trade at 20 pips if you didn't close out, and you probably wouldn't have closed out at 10. So it would have been a stop loss trade at 20 pips. Then it comes back into the channel, and again you'll be looking at this where it tested that 38.2 level, rejected, again broke out of the channel, of that bullish channel, and this is where you could have been looking at. So you're thinking of that at first, right? And if you hit a stop loss, you would be thinking of that again because it's broke out the channel. Stop loss at your 20 pips. Your take profit could go down to 25 or even as low as 50. So this is where you would have gone in again, right? So a lot of times we talk about a trade setup in the, during a session. What happens if it goes against you? This would be a scenario here where you've gone out, entered a trade, hit a stop loss, close out the trade. Then you would go again when it shows you the same thing, breaking out. Again, we see the massive dollar strength. We'll be looking at a 20 pip stop, 50 pip take. You could be looking at, by the time it gets to about 25 maybe, you could move this to break, you could move this to break even, and then after that go for the next move lower. Okay, so that is what you could have done if you were looking at it at 12 or 1 o'clock earlier today, right? A couple of hours earlier today. Now it's too late to get in, or you can consider it too late to get in if you're planning to get in here, or you would say it's too early to get in because you wanted to break past that equal low first. It needs to break past this equal low. This point is at that level now. Only if it breaks past, then you can look to sell down. 5960 stop loss, no more than 20 pips. Take profit would be silly to have it at 20. You could go down to 59. That's my support level there, and then that's my interim level there. So that's what you'll be looking for. I would say you can even go a little bit earlier. You need to close below 5964. Close below 5964. No more than, even 15 pips will be good. Your first level that you want to watch out for is this point. Then it might go all the way down. I think it might hesitate here for a little bit as well. Okay, so I still like this here. Okay, 5960. So Kiwi dollar, what I'll be looking for is 0.5960. Yes. Stop loss 20, take profit 50 to the downside. 5960, 60 to the downside. Oops. 60 to the downside. Hesitation at 0.59. There we go. Hey Stefan, good morning. How are you doing? Hey Jamil, I didn't see you. How are you doing? Good morning. Can't wait to start trading in next week. So I'm in sell. Very nice. Hey Lazarus, good morning. How are you doing? Okay. Good. Now with that, then on to the Aussie. Right, Aussie had our test and reject to push down first move, second move. Right, so if you caught that, let me know. Aussie has the equal low there, same like Kiwi. It needs to break past the equal low towards the support. So we have this point here, but it's very near. Well, it's not very far away. So what I'll be looking at from here would be a short 6495, stop loss 20 pip, take profit 50 pips to the downside. Okay, I'm actually thinking now whether we could be looking for a buy on the Kiwi. Sell 0.6495, stop loss 20, take profit 50 to the downside. I was just mumbling that I'm wondering whether we could see this happen on the Kiwi. That's something to consider. Because since I'm looking to sell the Aussie down, then maybe I'll think about this as an alternate scenario on the Kiwi. 5950, test and bounce, 20 pips stop. Go back up to here, 60 pips there. It's still the same kind of setup, but we're looking for a bit of a counter trend there. Let's do that. I like that one as a bit of a variety, something to think about. Right, 5950, 20 to 60. 0.5950, stop loss 20, take profit 60. Let's do that. And that is going to be counter trend. And let's put that as a bounce of support. There we go. Okay. Now, US yen. What is happening on the yen? Right, it's been pushing. I was scalping. I'll tell you what I have here on my yen is that, to be frank, I'll take that away for now. What I have is I have a pending sell stop. Right, I have a sell stop just below this 23.6 level. I think it was 55. Right, I have a very tight stop there. I think about 20 pips. And then I have a 60, this point, 70 pip move to the downside. It's there. I have that sitting there. I have that waiting for a possible intervention to come from the Bank of Japan to bring that down. Right? I won't know where exactly, but I'm just going to try and catch that at 70. If I'm there at that point in time, then I might try and drag it lower, but 70 pips on an intervention, I'll be happy with that. If it continues higher, then let's say, for example, if it pushes up to 154, then I'm going to move this up this way. I'm going to move it up to maybe 153.20, for example. I'm going to drag this down 120 to the downside. I'm just going to keep moving it up, waiting, and that's how I would prepare or prime myself, waiting for a possible intervention from the Bank of Japan. All right, so that's my I think something like that. I can't remember where exactly I had it. Okay, so like that. I think it should be a bit, yeah, about there. I thought it was a bit lower. Yeah, there. So that's what I have left pending on a possible intervention from the Bank of Japan. And while it's pushing up, I'm actually scalping it to the upside. I'm buying it up, hitting a level, closing out, very small trades. So I haven't been posting these kind of trades for you guys in the group because it's really that kind of bounce. Right, so as it comes down, it bounces back up. I'm on a 5-15 minute time frame. I say bounce off the support, push up 20 pips, I'm out, 20 pips, I'm out, just trying to scalp the yen to the upside. It is now still sitting at 153.25. It looks like we're going to see it continue climbing. Right, especially that way. We're going to see it continue climbing up, especially if we see the dollar continue to push higher. If it breaks above, what's likely to happen here is it's going to come down, bounce, and then push back up. I would, at this point, maybe be a bit more cautious for the upside. I can see a lot of rejections here at 153.30. All right, so we're looking for a bounce. I would say that unless it can break 153.40, I wouldn't be looking to buy it up. Scalping positions will be 153.50. Stop loss. I actually don't want to tell you to buy it up, right? You could buy it up on a scalp, but just be super careful on this. I would actually prefer to, I have my that set up to continue thinking of a possible intervention level, which could be, this will be a bit risky, but you could be looking at 153.10, stop loss 20 pips, take profit 40 pips to the downside. We're looking for rejection of that trend line, so swap the space over like that. Right, so looking for rejection of that trend line to break down. Maybe not so much an intervention, but just a rejection of that resistance to break back down again. Okay, so 153.10, 20 pips to 40 pips to the downside. So 153.10, stop loss 20, take profit 40 to the downside. After 1 month break, today my first trade on the pound dollar. I hope you were selling it down. Okay, then onto the pound dollar. Take that away, that counter trend did not play out. We put that as a possibility. Right, the main thing we said that it was likely to consolidate along this support level, which it did. Now turned resistance. Right, you're looking for it to break to the downside below 1.2490. You sell it down 20 pips. I think that 40 pips would be first a reasonable level to approach. Okay, so consolidate to break 1.25. That's what it took some time to do. All right, oh no, 1.25 is here. So it's consolidated, broke, coming down to 1.25. break 1.25, sell 1.2590. Take that away. Okay, don't need that one. I'll change that to 40 pips. End of the week, I don't think we're going to see massive moves. So 1.2490, 20 pip stop loss, 40 pip take profit to the downside. Okay, now on to the euro. Came right down, came as low as 1.0674, sitting there right now. I would anticipate further downside. I don't think we need that. I would think we will anticipate further downside on the euro dollar. Very nice, Jamil. Where's the next support that we're looking for? So we broke that level, take that away. This move 61 is there. What if I took this whole thing? Well, that was the one we had just then. Okay. I don't even need that, take that away. And I don't need that. That I'll keep. Those I'll keep. Don't need that. Okay, swing low, breaking, approaching the next swing low. I'll show it to you a bit more clearer. There we go. So it's approaching this swing low that we saw in November. If it does break this point, we could see it head down towards 1.0530. And in the middle, we could have about that point there. So now looking at this, break below 1.06 is pushing lower. H1 again. So it's pushing lower, needs to break 1.0650, stop loss, oops, 1.0650, stop loss 20, take profit 60 to the downside. Okay. One thing to just be careful of on the euro is that it has been dropping quite a bit, so it might find a bit of a bounce somewhere. I'm actually thinking that it could do this, and then after that. So might see a reaction at this support level, but we want to be patient. We want to wait for it to break the support 1.0650, 20 to 60 to the downside. Right, so we're looking for a sell at 1.0650, stop loss 20, take profit 60 to the downside. Fantastic. Okay. Let's see. Shady Katana. What about M15 time frame? On M15 time frame, because on the stream we're a bit more time sensitive in the trade setups, so we don't look at it on the M15 time frame. Right, mostly all done on H1. I'm just looking at the dollar now, sitting around that point. So it's likely to sit here for a while, push up, test. I don't think we're going to see that. We look for reaction and then a retrace back down. Maybe not as far. We might see it retrace back down to 80. There we go. Then on to the US Swiss franc. Yesterday we were saying it's either going to sit there and push up on dollar strength, or it's going to retrace and then after that bounce and push to the upside. So it did not push up, it did retrace, and it looks like it's pushing up, but you shouldn't be looking to do that and buy it up because it's only a 30 something pip move to the upside. It's possible, but it's not great because there's a previous equal high there which it could come up and then push back down again. Now looking at the dollar strength pushing it up, we're looking for still for this to push higher. I would say that would maintain 9170.20 to 55. I'll keep that there. 9170.20 to 55. We'll maintain that. Oops. Take that back in. All right. And then USCAD test bounce, tested 23.6 and bounced up, failed to break. Right, so this is again very important to see, to note the key levels that you're looking for. It failed to break 23.6, so it's bounced right back up. That trade did not trigger, take that away. We don't need that for now. Equal point, swing low there, pushing higher. Now let me see. The next point up, well, big swing level is up here, a very obvious one. The next one we have is about there, about that point there. Okay, so now looking at this, we're looking at maybe a bit of a retrace and then a continuation higher. Again, no major news on the CAD. Yep, so I think that we could see this retrace push up. I saw a question there, Lingopedia. Let me get to that shortly. 3730 stop loss 20. Take profit 50 to the upside. So let's do that one. We're going to buy 1.3730, 20 to 50. Very dollar bullish here, so just be a bit careful. Stop loss 20, take profit 50 to the upside. Yeah, it looks very dollar bullish based on our analysis. We're kind of ruling out the idea that it might retrace all the way back down. I feel that it might push up for the dollar bull and then after that retrace slightly. Maybe after that we might see that continue back up again. Okay. Then on to Lingopedia's question on what could be the possible haunting on gold. Are we expecting gold to go beyond 2400? Kindly share your opinion. Gold, I was talking about this yesterday, feels like there is massive manipulation on gold because as much as we are seeing the dollar push to the upside, it should show gold pushing down, but gold is still rocketing up. So it feels like there's a bit of manipulation. The market answer is that, or the general answer from the market on why is gold climbing to the upside is because of the geopolitical uncertainty, right? The geopolitical uncertainty. That's why we're seeing a move towards reserve commodity or reserve currency. We're seeing that push. But I think that there might be a bit of a manipulation, right? Something's up, and I don't know what exactly. I'm not big into conspiracy theories, so I don't know what exactly. But I'm just trading the trend. I'm just trading a trend. Yesterday, we were talking about it. We were at this point here yesterday. We were saying that if it broke down and below this level, it could hit lower. It did not, right? It came right down into this triangle, which I said, watch out for this triangle. If it doesn't break out of this triangle to the downside, then I had this black line. I said it was going to bounce off the bottom of the channel up towards the top of the channel that we see here, right? So that happened. That happened exactly, pretty much exactly as we had anticipated, right? It failed to break that triangle, bounced off from the bottom of the channel upwards. And it's funny because Jimmy was talking about gold in the Discord channel at 4 a.m. in the morning. I was watching the golf. I was looking at the markets. And then this was, where was it? It was this point here as it broke out. So as it broke that previous high, right? As it broke that previous high, I actually did get into that, right? So I had that I had a very, very tight stop. I think it was tiny. I think I had a tiny stop on that. And then I had my take profit way up there. Right, I have my take profit way up there. Then now it's pushed up. So this was when I was watching the golf, we were talking about gold. It pushed up, and then now I'm on break even. So I don't remember what very quickly as it pushed up, I moved to break even. And then now I'm just trying to see how high can it go. Question from Lingopedia is, can it go to 2400 and beyond 2400? On the current scheme of things, I think that is very likely, right? It's very likely we're going to see that following this channel. Following this channel, we are looking at gold possibly even getting to 24, maybe 2410 before a retrace. 2410 before a retrace. Okay, so what I'm looking for on gold here is possible continuation to upside to 2410, which is the top of channel, before slight retrace lower. Okay, there we go. So what I'm looking at, so that one's done. We can take all that away. We saw that bounce off the bottom of the channel. Okay, that my trade is still running. I might actually close it out. If it comes close to 2400, or it touches 2400, I might close out my trade on gold. I just in case it comes close to that point and it starts reversing. Okay, so I'm looking at it possibly now trading up to that 2410 level, maybe come back down and then push back up again, like that. Push up, test, and then push up again. I'll see how that goes on my gold trade. 2450 to 2500, Jimmy says. Possible, yes, I do. With the way it's going, it only can go higher. But looking at the channel this way, I don't. Wait, let me do that again. Let me do that properly. The H4 time frame. Let's see. Of this level, yes. Of this level, good. Yeah, so based on this, I think 2450, well, 2450 is up here. could get there, but it probably needs to move. Yeah, it probably needs another wave. I don't know if it's the right word, but another wave higher. Maybe next week. Maybe next week we'll be talking about massive new highs on gold. But you know, to be frank, I would like a big, strong retrace. I just don't like to keep buying into historic highs. Price discovery highs is just not something very conducive to buy into. Okay, so with all that said, again, please remember, if you haven't already, Discord channel is there. The link for the webinar next week is there as well. I look forward to catching up with you on Discord during the webinar, during our live stream from Monday as well. So please have a super weekend. Take care, trade well, trade safe. I'll see you all next week. Bye-bye now.